Hey everybody, welcome back to One Out RV. In this week's episode, I'm going to go ahead and talk about how I tow this 42-foot monster down the road. Remember, if you want to learn more and make less mistakes while RVing, be sure to hit that subscribe button, drop a like and a comment down below. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. I've gotten a request for this type of video by several different people, so I figured I'd go ahead and put it out there. So we're going to talk about my truck itself, the trailer itself, and the combination of how they tow together and how I have everything set up. Let's start with the truck. So I have a 2017 Chevy Silverado 3500 HD Duramax dually. I absolutely love this truck. I bought it in December of 2020 after I traded in my Chevy Silverado 2500. I wanted to upgrade to the dually because I knew that I was going to be getting the new trailer and I needed something that was more capable of handling the weight. I also went with a dually over a single axle, or excuse me, a single rear wheel 3500 setup because the dually just adds so much extra rubber on the road. And when I was out west a couple years ago, there's just some areas where wind is blowing you and you can really feel it in the truck. And I'll tell you, in my opinion, going from that to the dually makes a significant difference having that extra rubber on the road. So that's why I went with a dually. I've done all sorts of upgrades to this truck. Basically everything that Banks Power has available for the Duramax, I put in here, other than the oil cooler. I did not put an oil cooler on there. But I have a Banks Ram Air intake, Banks 5-inch exhaust, the boost tube upgrade, which changes out your boost tubes, and then also the Banks Derringer tuner, as well as the Banks pedal monster. And that combination of all that stuff is just absolutely incredible. Now, Banks Power does not talk about or guarantee any mile per gallon changes whatsoever, but I did these upgrades for two main reasons. Of course, number one being power and available power, right? The more air I can get in and out through the system, and then with the tuner, to have that power on demand just meant I could merge more safely into traffic. I can get up mountains easier, stuff like that, because the stock truck does perfectly fine, never had an issue, but there are definitely some times and some days that I'm like, man, I wish I had just a little bit more power so I can get up to speed a little bit faster, or my pedal would respond faster, because sometimes they take a while. And that's why I did these upgrades, number one. Number two was miles per gallon. Now again, Banks Power does not advertise or talk about miles per gallon. They don't say they can or will do anything for your truck, but simple science will tell you if you can get more air in and more air out with my exhaust, then the engine, which is basically just a big vacuum, is going to run more efficiently, right? It's just plain and simple. Now, the reason that Banks doesn't tell you that you can get better MPGs out of these upgrades is because when people put these upgrades on there, they're not going to get better MPGs. They're just going to be pedal to the floor, ripping it and wasting all the diesel fuel they possibly can, which is fine. If that's your method of driving, that's perfectly fine. Have fun with it. But if you drive carefully and you're towing and you're going long distances, you can easily save some MPGs. Let me talk about what I did. So I like to think that I have a pretty consistent baseline. Before I did all these upgrades, I took this exact same towing setup with my trailer and everything that's in it the exact same way at the beginning of the year out to Colorado and to Washington and back to Florida. And on that trip, I was getting typically 7 to 8 miles per gallon. I would get 7 when it was nice and flat and good and easy riding, but once we'd get into any kind of hilly situation, it would start to lose, I was getting 8 on the really flat areas, and any kind of hilly situation, I would be averaging 7. Now, I did these upgrades. We got on the road towing the exact same setup, again, same weight, same everything, and I saw in my opinion, a significant difference because I was now getting 11 to 12 miles per gallon. Okay, so I went from 7 on the low side to 11 on the low side, and from 8 on the high side to 12 on the high side. That's a 50% gain, going from 8 miles per gallon to 12 miles per gallon. That's 50%. 4 extra miles per gallon. Now, I'm not going to say that you can get the same stuff. I'm just telling you what I've experienced so far with my setup. let's talk about the rig. So it is a 2022 Keystone Montana 3931 FB with a lot of custom stuff done to it. Obviously you can tell, and if you want to see more about everything that's done to this trailer, just start looking through my through my videos. I got tons of stuff. I even have a playlist just called The New Montana, and every single upgrade that I've done to it is in there. So get on there and start checking it out. But I'll tell you, my weights are 19,500 pounds on the trailer. 19,500 pounds, so it's almost a 20,000 pound trailer. And this truck pulls it like it's not even back there. I absolutely love it. Rides nice and smooth. And our traveling partner, Rob, who goes on a lot of our trips with us and has been everywhere with us, he knew what the last trailer did, okay? And I already had my new dually with the last trailer, my 2013 Big Country, and he saw us going down the road all the time because he was behind us. And on this trip, being behind us, he came over the radio one day and he just couldn't believe how just straight line, perfectly smooth the trailer was riding in comparison to the last one. He said the last one, was very all over the road, bouncing back and forth, very unstable, and now this new trailer has been absolutely amazing. Now, I chalk that up to a couple things, okay? Number one, everything's brand new. The suspension on the axles is much better. It's the Cree 3000, way higher upgraded suspension than what I had on the Big Country. That was just some pretty stock leaf springs and shackles, all stock basic stuff. Now, the other big thing is right over here, the hitch. Let's talk about it. I switched to a Reese Goosebox hitch. Now, just to throw it out there right from the beginning, if you don't know, the Reese Goosebox hitch is it gets rid of your old Kingpin style fifth wheel hitch and it drops you down into a goose ball. Now, the nicest thing about that is, number one, your bed space. The truck's bed goes from having this big, huge fifth wheel hitch to now just a ball in it, right in the center. Little ball goes in there, and when you're done towing, you can just pop the ball up out of the way, and you're good to go. You have nothing else to worry about. Even with the ball in, you can use your entire bed and just have that ball in the way, and it's just super awesome. But again, you just pop it out and now you have your bed back to normal. In comparison to carrying or trying to move a couple 100-pound hitch, it's just a world of a difference in the bed aspect of it. Now, the hitch itself does have air ride, which is one of the things that I just cannot express how nice the feel of this rig is. It's just insanely different with the air ride. So inside the hitch, right here in the center, is an airbag for up and down, okay? And that makes a huge difference with bouncing of the trailer, okay? The other big thing is there's two shocks down there that help with chucking. And so between the shocks helping with chucking and the air ride helping with the smoothness, I mean, I've gone over some bridges and I know exactly what it would have felt like in my last RV with the Kingpin, and it just is nasty. I mean, it beats the truck up and you're going back and forth, and then you get over, you're like, okay, good, the trailer's still there. I mean, it's just absolutely horrible the way that you get beat up sometimes. And I'll tell you, I cannot be happier with that Reese Goosebox hitch. And keep in mind, if you are looking into the Reese Goosebox and you're watching this video because of that, it's a great hitch. I absolutely love it, but make sure that, number one, it fits your rig, because the bolt pattern on them only fits certain style frames. Number two, get the properly sized one, okay? I got the 20K. I believe there's a lower one, and I'm not sure if there's a higher one or not. I can't remember off the top of my head, but get the right size for your rig. I'll talk about one other thing on the trailer that makes the trailer ride and pull so nice and smoothly, and that's stopping. Okay, stopping a 20,000 pound trailer is not easy. Even with a big, huge dually, it's got plenty of stopping power and it does it just fine. However, it will just eat up those brakes over time. So what's awesome about this trailer is disc brakes. It has disc brakes in both axles, and it is just incredible the stopping power that the trailer alone has. I have to turn my trailer game down quite a bit because otherwise it'll pull the truck back. That's it for this week's episode. I hope you guys learned something. Give me some input. Drop your comments below if you have any questions about the setup, about the truck, about all my upgrades, about the Montana, anything at all. Please drop them in the comments below. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, turn on all the notification bells, hit a like. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching Why Not RV. Bye.